All right, so I just finished The Haunting of Bly Manor, and wow. This is going to be a completely 100% spoiler-free review of the show. I'm just going to be giving my overall general thoughts of the series. So The Haunting of Bly Manor is not a sequel to The Haunting of Hill House. It is actually based off of a book called The Turn of the Screw, written by Henry James back in 1898. Just as The Haunting of Hill House was based off of a book by Shirley Jackson. So this is kind of like American Horror Story, in which they took some of the cast from The Haunting of Hill House, put them in The Haunting of Bly Manor, gave them different characters, and it's fucking awesome. I absolutely loved this show so fucking much, you guys. So this series was very highly anticipated for me. I could not wait to watch this show. I binged it within 24 hours, and let me tell you something, it was so worth it. I will say this, The Haunting of Bly Manor is not necessarily a scary story. This is more of a love story, if you can believe that. And when you watch the show, you will see what I mean. As I had said, some of the cast from The Haunting of Hill House came back to do this show. Victoria Pedretti came back, Oliver Jackson Cohen came back, Henry Thomas came back, Carla Gugino came back, and also Kate Siegel returned. I already said that I love the show so much, and I really do. This is a really interesting story. You learn so much about these characters. You get at least one episode really diving deep into every character, or multiple in every episode. You really care for all of the characters involved in this series. All of the acting is spectacular. As you will hear in this show, perfectly splendid. Some of the actors from The Haunting of Hill House had to put on an English accent, which I thought was really cool, and it really added to their character and added to the story. Because this story does not take place in the United States, it takes place in London. The story also does not take place in modern times, it takes place in 1987. One thing that I really enjoyed about this season is that the story was being told by Carla Gugino. She would narrate over some scenes in the episodes, and I really dug that. I also want to mention that I am a huge fan of Mike Flanagan. I loved what he did with The Haunting of Hill House. I loved Dr. Sleep. I loved Hush, Oculus. Almost every single movie he has ever done and every show that he's done has been wonderful. So I was really looking forward to see what he did with this, and I gotta say, 2 fucking thumbs up again, Mr. Flanagan. You did a wonderful job. He created such an amazing world, and he developed these characters so well. You felt so immersed in this house. You literally felt like you lived there. Despite this show being a love story, it does still have the supernatural elements involved, and it is still creepy, like Mike Flanagan knows how to do. He knows how to build up tension. He knows how to creep you out. He loves making you go like this. He did a fantastic job doing that in this series. And much like The Haunting of Hill House, there are tons and tons of things in the background that if you notice them, you'll be like, oh shit. Happens again in this show, in The Haunting of Bly Manor, many times. And it is awesome. I'm not exactly sure how people are really gonna take this season. I haven't seen any reviews of the show yet. I really enjoyed it. I don't know if a lot of people are going to dig this. The reason why I say that is because everybody loved The Haunting of Hill House for the most part. They thought it was so scary and so terrifying and so original and so unique. I am afraid a little bit that the people who love The Haunting of Hill House are not gonna like the direction Flanagan took in The Haunting of Bly Manor. As I had said, it is a love story. It's not as scary as I had expected it to be, which I don't mind that it wasn't. It did scare me sometimes. It wasn't anything crazy. I didn't lose sleep over this show, but however, I would have liked to see a little bit more scares, but what we did get, the creepiness, the suspense, the tension that he did give us, really effective. Because this season is all about the characters. It's all about the people in Bly Manor. As I had said, you learn so much about them and you invest so much of your time in them that you feel like you know them. And I really like that direction of this season. The visuals of the sets and the creature design is just marvelous. And Mike Flanagan really knows when to up the creepy factor. He really sets the mood in the right place at the right time. He fucking nailed it when it came to that aspect of the story. The dialogue was great, the acting was superb, the set pieces were great, the score was dark and ominous, and it was also very uplifting. It made you feel so dreadful at sometimes, but other times it made you feel so happy, and I loved the contrast between the two scores when it needed to be. And during the entire watch time, not the entire time I watched it, but for the most part, when it got to the climax, the last least maybe 2 to 3 episodes, I wondered, how is this gonna end? And the way that the show ends, if you dig the show, if you like the direction that it's going, I think the ending of this, I think the ending of The Haunting of Bly Manor is just chef's fucking kiss, man. It is so good. I absolutely loved how the show wrapped up. But I had a blast with this show. I thought it was such a good time. I was creeped out and I was happy. As weird as it sounds, this show made me very happy. I cannot wait to see if there's anything more past this, if he's gonna do another Haunting of XYZ place. I'm all here for it. I love Mike Flanagan's work so much, so I am here for it. Please let me know in the comments down below if you have finished The Haunting of Bly Manor, what your thoughts are on this season. And as always, if you would like to become one of my sweethearts, please hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.